guys, back again. Bullseye Boy back again with another video. Obviously it's Monday, just the day after FASTLANE. I did my FASTLANE review earlier, which I hope you guys checked it out and enjoyed. This is WWE Off the Mic episode 7, where I'll just be talking about the latest news. Obviously the show kind of answered a couple of questions that a lot of fans had. The main thing I wanted to talk about was obviously the ending of the triple threat. I don't know if you guys have seen some of the articles that were on about it, but WWE basically after the Royal Rumble had the plan of Roman Reigns winning the triple threat, which obviously happened last night. There was some talk that they might, slightly, that a curveball basically could be thrown in, but on the morning of, yesterday morning, as of Sunday morning, the plan still was for Roman Reigns to win, and obviously they didn't change that throughout the day, and he ended up getting the win in which was an amazing triple threat. What was surprising that I didn't mention on my FASTLANE review, guys, was the Wyatt family. Everyone expected the Wyatt family to cost Brock Lesnar the match, but he actually lost the match clean, not getting pinned or submitted or anything, but lost the match without the Wyatt family's interference. So is that a sign that they're not going to do Brock Lesnar versus Bray Wyatt, and they could go, obviously with Reigns winning the triple threat, with Lesnar versus Ambrose, because of the massive rivalry and feud they've built up, which you can't say has ended. They haven't ended that rivalry. And although it was a triple threat, the match on Raw, it was really based on Ambrose versus Lesnar. So they built up a rivalry there and a feud and a real, good build between the two guys. So with Wyatt family interference, you would have said, "There's your WrestleMania match," but is it? That's something to look. Definitely on tonight's Raw, a lot of things are going to happen on tonight's Raw, guys, and that is one of them. What's the direction for the Wyatt family? Is it with Brock or is it not? And if it's not, is Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose, which has been talked about? Is that the way they're going to go? Which I'd probably prefer, because one, I think they'll have an amazing match. Not that Bray Wyatt win with Brock Lesnar, because that would be amazing as well. It's just I'd prefer to see Dean Ambrose versus Brock Lesnar. And I don't want Bray Wyatt losing again at WrestleMania, which he obviously would. So, although I'd love that, I'm not as high at this point on Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar as some people are. I would definitely love Brock Lesnar versus Dean Ambrose, and you could even have it as a number one contenders match at WrestleMania, to face obviously Roman Reigns probably after that. So that's definitely looking like it's possible now with no Wyatt family interference last night. But yeah, Roman Reigns was, the plan all along was to have him win the match, and that was the news and rumours going on. And as of yesterday morning, the plans were still in place for him to win the match, which obviously came true. There were some fans, including me, potentially thinking a curveball could be thrown in, which was talked about, obviously with Dean Ambrose losing the IC title on Raw. That definitely gave the opening there for a Dean Ambrose win, which I wanted, because I wanted a Reigns heel turn, and I don't think Ambrose would have won with Reigns just taking it like a good guy. And I honestly believe if Ambrose had won last night, that was a heel turn for Roman Reigns. So I'm gutted about that, but yeah, that's how it went. Next thing I wanted to mention was Rey Mysterio. Obviously in my last video I mentioned that there's a lot of news and rumours that he could be coming back to the WWE. Apparently they wanted him back for WrestleMania, which is not going to happen, guys, at all. And then their next solution was maybe for SummerSlam, because I think what they really want to do in the long run is have a Kalisto versus Rey Mysterio match, a bit of a passing of the torch match, and maybe even at WrestleMania in the next few years have a Kalisto Rey Mysterio retirement match for Rey Mysterio, because what better way to go out against someone like Kalisto, who's a replica of Rey Mysterio? That'd be a great way to go out, I think, for Rey Mysterio. What I wanted to mention about that is that will not be happening at WrestleMania, will not be happening at SummerSlam, and it will not happen until 2017, because he has a contract with Lucha Underground until 2017. that I don't think he can get out of. So obviously, so I wouldn't expect if there's a lot of Rey Mysterio fans out there, I wouldn't be expecting Rey Mysterio back in WWE until sometime after 2017 or after. So if he comes back at all, really, it's not a guarantee. So another thing, obviously I've been mentioning this nearly every on nearly every video of WWE Off the Mic, but it's the biggest topic right now in WWE, and it has to be talked about, and especially what could go down tonight on Raw. It's news about John Cena and The Undertaker. The Undertaker and John Cena. These two guys, John Cena and The Undertaker, have been headed on a collision course for a WrestleMania match ever since John Cena became the top guy. It was a match that in the years to come you'd pencil in, because it's The Undertaker, the best wrestler and the biggest guy of his generation, and John Cena, the face of the company for the last 10, 15 years. So John Cena versus The Undertaker was always going to happen. Obviously with the injury, a lot of fans don't believe John Cena will be there, but honestly guys, I don't think there's a chance in hell that John Cena's not at WrestleMania, and I don't think there's John Cena versus The Undertaker is happening at WrestleMania 32, and it's going to be the best match of the show. John Cena versus The Undertaker will happen, guys. It's John Cena sent out tweets that indicate he's going to be there, and that he's taking a risk by wrestling and this type of stuff. And a lot of people have kind of assumed maybe a Goldberg or Sting or Kurt Angle, because WWE announced that they've chosen the opponent for The Undertaker, who's not on the active roster. There's two things I want you guys to know here. Active roster, John Cena is not active. And the second bit, which no one's really taken into account, is that WWE released the information that their opponent was chosen for The Undertaker after John Cena had made some tweets about indicating he'll be there. Okay, so John Cena sent out the tweets implying he'll be, he's taking a risk by doing something, and will it pay off? Which is obviously the match with The Undertaker. And then WWE said that. It's not like they said it before and they had no plan for John Cena, and then John Cena said, "Oh well, I could take a risk and come back and wrestle." He did that first, and then WWE was like, "Okay, we've got the confirmation. We know it can happen. It's going to happen. Now we're going to say it." So it just makes all the sense in the world, guys. When you just piece it all together, he's going to be there. It's going to be that match, and I think there was rumours that The Undertaker would either make his return at FASTLANE, which obviously didn't happen, or on tonight's Raw, so we'll see if that happens. And obviously I think to kick off the show they have that ceremony for the Vincent J. McMahon Award or something. I would not be surprised if The Undertaker or John Cena are there right to kick off the show for that moment. And that could, honestly guys, it could all start tonight. We could have a John Cena Undertaker moment tonight, or it could be in the next couple of weeks. But obviously I think tonight, obviously there's been rumours that Undertaker will be at Raw, whether it was Fastlane or Raw, so we'll see if those are true. And obviously John Cena can come back at any time, because obviously he's not going to wrestle before WrestleMania, but it doesn't hurt being on TV, and he'll need to be on TV to build up his rivalry with The Undertaker. So why not just kick it off right now tonight, So there's a possibility of that happening. Apart from that, Seth Rollins' injury is going really well. He's recovering really well, ahead of schedule. Not as much as John Cena, but John Cena is just Superman when it comes to that type of stuff. But it's great news for Seth Rollins, because if WWE needs one guy back the most outside of Cena, it's Seth Rollins. I mean, the guy is... I love AJ Styles, and I'm not going to say Seth Rollins is a better wrestler than AJ Styles, because I think AJ Styles is probably the best in the world. But Seth Rollins is right up there as a top 3 wrestler in the world, I think. He's just insanely good. So his injury, to hear that it's going well and is ahead of schedule is amazing news, because that's what we need. We need these top guys back. We need my joint favorite wrestler, my boy Randy Orton back. We need Randy Orton back, and Cesaro isn't going to be back for WrestleMania. There was a few people thinking he would be. He won't be back for WrestleMania, which is a shame. But Cesaro will be back very soon after. So in a short space of time and soon, I think we'll be getting Seth Rollins, Randy Orton. I think Randy Orton will be the last to come back of all three, but Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, and Cesaro will all be back in 2016, obviously. And I think when Cesaro gets back, there's a big push for him awaiting. I think there should be one. He should be in the main event. Cesaro's got all the personality and the moves to be there. Obviously, Randy Orton has been a main event guy for years. And obviously Seth Rollins was the man before his injury, so to have all three back will be amazing. It'll just boost the whole roster when you've got your AJ Styles, your Kevin Owens, your Dean Ambrose, your Brock Lesnar's, your Roman Reigns, and you add Cena, Rollins, Randy Orton, Cesaro. You've got anywhere from 7 to 12 guys you could have in a WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, and people would be like, oh, that's a main event guy. That's a match. That's a real match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. You've got anywhere from up to 12 guys you could put in a main event. So when they all get back, that's how. See, this is where WWE's the fans include. The product we've been getting right now, and it has been horrible. And there doesn't seem to be many main event guys on the roster right now in the last few weeks, and there hasn't been. It's just been Dean Ambrose, Roman Reigns, and Brock Lesnar. That's been it. But when you consider the guys missing and some of the pushes that are going to be coming for Kevin Owens and Cesaro, if you mix on obviously the Bray Wyatt, if you mix all that together, WWE for the next few years, and Finn Balor when he comes to the main roster, you've got so many guys in the next few years that they could just play around with in the main event. That you'll have so many. They're in a great position in terms of talent and main event guys. To have 10 plus guys that you could say is he should be in the main event. That's incredible. And so when they're all back and you've promoted some of the NXT guys, you've got so many main event guys that you're going to have some in the mid card. But you can that's where you can. WWE in the next few years, I can guarantee, could have one of the most successful periods in history. I'm going to go out and say that. Because they've got so much talent, so many big main event wrestlers about to rejoin the roster from injury, or with the ones they've got now, the ones from the NXT, they'll have more than they've had in the last few years, in the last 10 years. And they could, obviously it's all up to booking and WWE booking it right. If they can, they could pull off some of the matches of the decade, and they've got so much talent on the roster. So there wasn't much to talk about in this episode. Obviously, the night after Fastlane, it'll be Friday's episode should be really good. There'll be all the news from this week, and obviously going into next week's Monday Night Raw, off the back of tonight's, which I think obviously a Monday Night Raw after a pay-per-view is always one of the best, but I think tonight's could be, hopefully we'll see the Undertaker and John Cena. Hopefully we might see Enzo and Big Cass. So that would be great. But yeah, guys, that was my WWE Off the Mic episode 7. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would be amazing. I'd really appreciate it. And give the video a thumbs up and comment down below. That'd be incredible. So hope you guys enjoyed, and see you soon, guys. Bye.